We're going to find out. I'm going to find out if Zelda games are really good or if it's just nostalgia glasses that everyone has on, remembering them so fondly because they played them during their childhood. And I'm the perfect person to do that because I've never been interested, nor have I ever really played Zelda games. It's just been that game series that I just never cared about whatsoever. I want them to be good. Make no mistake about that. There are so many Zelda games when I looked into this. I want it to be good. Like, for example, I'm into like old school Castlevania games, right? Metroidvanias, whatever. So if you go back and play like Castlevania 1, 2, 3, those games are awful now. But back then, it hadn't been done. They were good games. You know, it's nostalgia glasses for me to now tell someone that the old Castlevania games are good. It was just a few years ago that I started playing Metroid games. So I was able to go back and play that entire back catalog in like a year. I had like 8 games to play, and they were all fantastic. So I'm hoping that is the case for Zelda games. I went by your suggestion, and wait, before we get into what I did play, I do want to set a little bit of rules or parameters here. Sure. So I'm going to try every Zelda game. You're going to pick the order. I'm going to play at least an hour on each one, give it a real try, and then give my opinion on, said game.
Okay.
You look confused.
No.
All right. So you suggested a game that was on Switch Online. What was the name of that Zelda game?
A Link to the Past.
A Link to the Past.
On Super Nintendo.
Super Nintendo, yes. And this wasn't like a remake. This was as it was, right?
Super Nintendo.
Okay, so spoiler alert, it was awful.
To you.
So,
Right.
They're still laughing at Zelda. So,
Just get your fingers on the button.
So I did take some notes actually about this game. I played through for a while, okay? I started the game, I rescued the bitch from like the wizard or whoever. And then they send you out into the world to seek your fortune. And you have to go get 3 amulets or 3 necklaces or something.
3 pendants. Yeah.
Pendants, yes. So I made it through one where the boss was like 20 bosses. And they kind of spread out into these linear line patterns.
Yeah.
Which, by the way...
There's 6 of them and they charge at you.
It seems like that old school game thing that like Nightmare on Elm Street on NES, where like if you weren't playing with like cheats or something, it would be damn near impossible to pass unless I'm just missing something about the game. Because even hitting seemed random as to whether my hit was going to land or if I just kind of hit air.
That's the level where you first get the bow. So that's what you're going to want to use in that battle.
Yeah, but you only have, 4 or 6 shots at that point. You don't have 30 arrows. You get the bow within that same castle.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then there isn't
If
just...
you go breaking pots or killing people, you can get up your 30 arrows when you go
Dude,
in there.
I broke every pot.
You're breaking them wrong. I don't know.
Let's back up to the beginning. It says there's a hidden entrance to the castle. This is right at the beginning of the game, okay?
Yeah.
So I'm like, okay, there's all these little bush sprouts I can pull up. It's going to be underneath one of those, right? So I spent 30 minutes. And there was nothing underneath them but fairies, Then I tried catching the fairies in jars.
You're going to have a bug net.
It was a real homoerotic game, buddy. So I make it through there, and then it tells you got to go get the other 2 pendants, and it kind of, the map sucks. But I mean, it was the times back then. I can't really fault the game for that, right?
Yeah.
You got to like go through 2 different menus to get the map and then out to. It's not just like a pop it up, pop it down. So it's fucking annoying. But it shows you that one of the pendants is in this castle up top. And then one of them is in the bottom left in like a marsh or like a swamp area. So I took little fucking Dink around and went to both of those areas. And for the life of me, I could not find the entrance to either area. Like I was like, okay, do I go through the castle? Okay. It looked like I was supposed to go up and then to the right. A little bridge thing. No, there's no access to it.
The top of the map.
Yeah. And then
You gotta go through all the caves. And...
Okay, I did find a cave, but I tried going all the way around, the whole castle trying to find like another entrance. Couldn't. So I went down to the bottom and there was a little area I could see that it was above a ledge that had like a house and a little path and some little dork. So I knew I needed to get to that point, and then the next map space to the left would have taken me probably where I needed to be. But I couldn't figure out how to get to that point. Like, what's up with that shit?
I know the one at the bottom, that's where you're supposed to go to next. That's the second one. And then top of the map is the last one.
Right, but are you going to act like that is not difficult to locate? I know.
No, it is. I'm pretty sure every time I played it, I've had to look it up how to get there.
Well, I know people who have played this
on
since
the second
their
one,
childhood.
The top one, playing it, if I'm sitting there playing it, I know where to go.
Well, see, the first one I just fucking went to.
Yeah.
But I really did not have fun with the gameplay.
It's a long game too. I remember, because once you get into it, because after you get those 3, this shit happens, and then you got to go find 7 fucking crystals or 7 maidens, whatever.
Does the map open up, or is the whole game that block?
It's that, but you're swapping between 2 worlds, light world and dark world. So 2 different maps. The map's the same, but it's 2 different. Shit's different. You have to do that through the gameplay,
and
through levels and
this
shit.
game this is the game that's looked at as sort of like the holy grail in Zelda past, right?
I think so.
I don't know, man. What do you think? Is this your favorite game?
Yes, it's the one that got me into the series.
Right, but you were probably like 10. How many of them are there?
There's
Zelda games.
So fucking many.
Well, okay.
There's one for every fucking Nintendo console that's out there.
You kind of know what kind of games I like. Yeah. You know what kind of games I don't. I've been vocal about thinking the whole concept of Zelda is just stupid. But if you wanted to convince me that Zelda games were great, what would be the second, where would you tell me to go next on the Zelda adventure of all time?
I'd probably say the N64.
Yeah, but N64 was such in that weird gaming time where they forced 3D on everything, and it seemed to kind of ruin the games. It ruined Castlevania, Mario 64.
Yeah.
Does Zelda suffer from that same?
Yes, it does.
And what's the name of that game?
Ocarina of Time.
Ocarina of Time.
However the fuck you pronounce it. Majora's Mask, I can't really say it. I remember I played it, started it, and there's something you had to do at the beginning that you had a certain amount of time to get done, and I just could never get past it, and it pissed me off, and I gave up, and I never fucking attempted.
Really? Even again. You, as being such a Zelda head that you never went
about
back?
That game, I was just like, nope. Because it's done just the same way as the first one on 64.
So, do you think that this Ocarina of Time will change my mind on Zelda? Because I want to like the brand. I want to like the series. Do you think that will be the one that pulls the inner Zelda fan out of me and I'm going to start buying beanies and hoodies?
I'd like to think so.
Really?
Like I said, that or on the Game Boy Advance, which is on the Switch too, the Minish Cap.
I don't know. Going back that far.
More, like I said, it's going to be more the game style like A Link to the Past, but not like as pixelated. The Game Boy Advance had pretty decent.
Yeah, it did have some gems on it, but it seems like going back that far at all is almost a recipe for disaster when you're trying to convince someone of a new game because of all the limitations and downfalls just from, playing those types of consoles today.
Right.
Although I will tell you on the Game Boy Advance, there's a couple Metroid games. I think it's 2 of them, Zero Mission Fusion or Zero Mission something. They are amazing games. Like those 2 games I played emulated on the PS Vita. And if you were to tell me they were Metroidvanias that came out this year, I'd believe you. Like, they play great, they look great, just great all around.
You give them a try.
But it seems like it does seem like I am fighting a nostalgia war against Zelda for anyone to give me an honest answer about which one of these pieces of shit is actually fun.
like I said, I've enjoyed them all. As I know you definitely weren't a big fan of the Breath of the Wild, and I liked them. I'm not going to put them in my top 5.
Well, see,
So I played through them, and I really hate those two games. I'm pretty sure that's the first when they introduced your weapons breaking and all that shit. I didn't care for that.
yeah. Like I say, I didn't find Breath of the Wild to be a bad game. I just found everyone hyped it up as if it was the best thing there ever was. Right. And to me,
no, it is not.
It was a basic
basic
bitch game, you know. But I think we're going to continue the quest with Game 2, Ocarina of Time. I'm going to give that at least an hour 15. We're going to see how it plays, see if it can make me more. Because these Zelda games,
you got to get a little into it before it like picks up. And
how much into it?
An hour is not enough. Yeah, like 2 or 3.
We'll do 2. We'll say 2, okay? Because, I mean, I can know within the first 15 minutes if I like the game or not, but I'm trying to give it a fair shake here. We'll do 2 hours on this next game and see if you can turn me into a believer. I want to believe, I just haven't seen the spirit yet. We'll check back in. We'll let you all know how much that game sucked next time.